Welcome to Profit Without Worry, episode number 94. If you've ever created anything, a product, a service, or a program with a launch that didn't go quite as planned, today's interview with Build Your Funnel Bootcamp student Marissa Rodriguez is for you. We're diving into what Marissa did to get her marketing to a place that felt really good and got results. Hey there, I'm Michelle Evans, and this is the show where coaches, experts, and business owners like us get real about what it takes to create a profitable online business. I can tell you from experience that nonstop hustle plus random acts of marketing do not equal success. So how do we attract a steady flow of clients and sales without all the hustle? This is the Profit Without Worry podcast. Hey, welcome back and thank you for tuning in. Have you taken the time to subscribe to the show so that you never miss an episode? If not, it's so easy to do. You can go to your podcast app of choice or directly to the website at profitwithoutworry.com and just opt in for the 5 steps to profit without worry and you'll get notified each week. And I'd love to connect with you. It is so easy. You can email me, michelle@michelleLevans.com, or hit me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Tag me and use the hashtag ProfitWithoutWorry so that I see your message. Ask a question, leave a comment, or just say hi. I love to put a face with your name and know who's tuning in each and every week. All right, let's dive into the show today. So today I've invited a special guest to talk on about building her first marketing funnel. Her name is Marissa Rodriguez, and she is an expert on Instagram, an absolute expert. In fact, if you want an amazing person who is inspiring and exciting and has gorgeous photography to follow on Instagram, I highly suggest checking out Marissa's 2 profiles for some inspiring and amazing content. I mean, she lives in Hawaii and she's a professional photographer, so it's absolutely gorgeous. I'll link to both of her feeds in today's show notes, which you can find at profitwithoutworry.com/episode-94, or in the show notes if you're listening to this on a podcast app. So here's a bit about Marissa. She's a very talented photographer and a brand consultant for health and wellness experts. Marissa has a really amazing eye for colors, for brands, and for capturing just moments that really can tell a story and more. Whenever I look at her Instagram feed, I come away feeling really inspired, and if I'm honest, a little jealous, because I definitely don't have her eye for design and photography, but I've learned a lot from what she posts, and I've learned a lot about how to, capture a moment to tell a story on Instagram, and I highly suggest that you follow her as well. So Marissa specifically helps healers, coaches, and passionate souls to grow their business using social media. And she's super talented at it. So if you're in that space, if you're in the health and wellness space, if you're a coach, if you're passionate about what you do, Marissa is definitely someone you're going to want to connect with. All right, let's jump into today's interview. Hey there, Marissa. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, me too. All right, I want you to start off by introducing yourself so that everyone knows sort of what you're working on, what you're focused on, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so my name is Marissa. I currently live in Hawaii with my husband and my dog. It's amazing. I love it. I'm originally from California, so I just went from an awesome place to even better weather, I guess. So it's amazing and so inspiring. And when I have those down days, I just look outside and I'm like, oh, look where you are. So I started a business last year called the Meraki Collective. And my background is in photography. So I started the Meraki Collective to help health and wellness entrepreneurs be able to grow their online presence using social media and eventually grow their business as well using Instagram specifically. So I started just taking photos for health and wellness entrepreneurs and selling just just photos like for stock photography. And then eventually that grew into creating more of an educational program to use Instagram for business. And so I launched my course last year, and that's what I'm working on now. And so I have all these ideas and different things that I want to do. So I'm trying to take it step by step. It's just all very exciting.
I love your Instagram feeds, both of them. They're gorgeous. I'm super jealous.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yours is great.
Well, but just before, we move on, can you let people know where the two places, or maybe more, I don't know, I only know about two places, they can find you on Instagram if they want to just check out sort of what you're about?
Yeah, of course. So my business one for the Meraki Collective is Meraki.thecollective. That's on Instagram. And then my lifestyle one, where I talk about my own health and wellness journey, is Marissa R _.
Okay. And I will link to those in today's show notes. So if you're on the go and trying to write it down as you're driving, don't worry. I'll link to it and you can just get it in today's show notes. All right. So they can find you in a couple places on Instagram and see what you're all about. So, tell me a little bit about, you're really good at Instagram. You have gorgeous photography. You're really good at storytelling. And you decided that you wanted to create a funnel for your business. So help me understand sort of why you decided that was sort of the next step for you.
Yeah. So when I created my program for health and wellness entrepreneurs to use Instagram for their business, I was so relieved once it was done. And I was like, great, come and get it. And then it was like, oh, wait, how does this happen exactly? And I did some work right after and put it in place, but it wasn't working, and it wasn't what I wanted. And I realized that pretty quickly. And
the marketing for the course wasn't what you wanted? Yeah,
like the quote unquote funnel that I had created was like it wasn't even a funnel. After learning what I know now, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know what I was doing. To be able to get people through my, once they sign up to my newsletter, to be able to introduce either a webinar or anything else that will lead them to be able to explore my program. So that's why I started looking into this, because I wanted something that was very specific for that next step after completing my program, after building it out and all that. That was very time consuming and just draining. And I didn't realize that I needed to have that other portion in place in order for anything to happen with my program, in order for my business to grow. And it was just yeah, it was so eye-opening, because it was like, you're done with this. And, after all of that, and then I'm just like, yes, okay, great. This is going to be amazing. And then it's like giant pause. I was like, wait, a what? So that's why I knew I needed to add that super important component to be able to build something where it would guide people through the stages and steps and experience that I wanted them to go through.
It's so funny. There's a couple points in my business where I came back to funnels, but the first one was when I launched my first course to crickets. I just like you, I did all this work. I figured out all the technology. I recorded all the videos. I did all the slide decks and the worksheets, and it's a lot of work to create a course.
Oh yeah. It's insane.
And then I launched it. It was like, where are the people?
Yeah. Why are they not knocking down my door right now?
Yeah, throw money at me. I know, because I had the same thing. And that's when I took a step back, probably just like you, where I was like, okay, I've been heads down creating this thing, but nobody knows about it. And I'm not even sure exactly how to connect with them. And so it's part of the reason why I fell so in love with these, is because once you understand this and you know the path people need to take to get ready to say yes or no, it's a whole lot easier.
Yeah. And I realized I had never launched before. So not anything not a program like that or anything. So I didn't like the launch experience. And I know that that's a way that a lot of online businesses work, where they launch 1 to however many times per year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I don't think I want to launch this way, at least not now, not at this point in my business. It was just very, it's not the experience that I wanted. And so I knew that I learned that with funnels, it's a totally different experience for yourself and for your clients.
Yeah. I
Love
mean, some people love the adrenaline rush that comes with
Yeah.
launching. I personally don't. Like, I have 3 kids. I have 3 really busy kids, and I have a life, and I can't put it on hold for 6 weeks to do a launch. It's
Yeah.
a choice
Yeah.
that I have made not to do. I mean, I could if I really wanted to,
Yeah.
but it's just a choice that I've made. And that's why I love funnels too, is because you can set it up and it can just run.
And you don't have to put your life on hold. I think eventually I might like try something like that again.
Yep.
But after, like you were saying, like after all of that work and after everything that you go through to like build something to present to the world, the last thing I want to do is put everything else on hold again to launch. I just want it to be, I want to know that it's really good, and I want it to be working.
And that's the fun thing about doing a funnel, is that whatever you build for sort of your evergreen funnel, and for those of you who don't know what that means, that just means that it can run day in and day out as long as you want. So it's just like always on. But what you learn is what it takes to get people to buy. And so then if you do decide to launch, it's less of a drain. It's also less of a risk because you already know, right?
Yeah. And you can see, and I'm going through this now, like I can see where something isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating because you have time to go in and adjust and fix, as opposed to a launch where it's like, oh, well, it's done. And I didn't have time to fix that one thing or whatever it may be. So I'm really loving funnels right now. They're a lot of work also, but I'm loving the concept of them. And I'm actually like, oh, when can I start working on my next one?
Yeah, you'll become an addict.
Yeah.
So I know, I mean, you went through and you created this beautiful course, and then you decided to join Build Your Funnel Bootcamp. And I'd love for you to just talk about what happened before you decided to join, and then what was it that made you say, okay, yes, I want to actually take a course now that I've created one.
Yeah.
Another course, I should say. It's not your first course.
What happened before I joined Build Your Funnel, a lot of stuff, a lot of a hot mess situations happened before. So like I said, I had made my program, built my program, and I had done a whole email sequence for the launch. And I did that on my own based on what I had learned before and examples that I had seen online and different things like that. And so that was that, but it was very specific to the launch. So then after the launch, I was like, okay, I realized I didn't like launching. I didn't enjoy the process. So I wanted an evergreen system format. And so then I started looking into that and doing research on how that works and everything. And I found like 50 different ways to do it, from like 50 different people all saying things that like contradicted each other. And like some of it felt good. Some of it was like, what? That doesn't make sense. So I kind of like took all of that and just made like one guideline, which wasn't even that, to try to do it myself. And so I created this, like, I think it was like 25 emails that I went and like took days to create. And the first 4 were about this, and then the next ones were about this. And it was literally based on 50 different opinions and like different ways to do it. And then based a little bit on the emails that I had written for my launch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this doesn't, and the whole time I would like go through and look at them, and I'm like, it's good. Like my writing's not bad and I enjoy writing, but like something was missing. Something was just, it wasn't feeling like it was going to do anything. Like and that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to put something out there where I wasn't like crazy about it, where I didn't see that transformation or something just wasn't clicking. And so then I thought, okay, I need to really really get a little bit more specific with this. And so then when I came across your program, I found you through a Facebook group that somebody, I was like, I was Googling everything, Facebook groups, Google, everything. I was all over the place. And so then I saw that somebody had asked a similar question to what I was going through. And like several people were like, you have to check out Michelle, you have to check out. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. So I went and I found you, and then I stalked you for a little bit. And then I saw that you had this program, and I went through and I read every single word. I was not subscribed to your newsletter, nothing. I had never heard of you before or your program. And I'm like, and my question was, why have I not heard of this program? And why don't I know who Michelle is? This is crazy. So I read every word, and that same day, I was like, okay, well, I need this. I need this because it is exactly what I was looking for. And then the part where you talked about how you offer like coaching, and you walk your clients through you're available. I was like, okay, this is exactly what I need. And I told my husband, actually, the day that I found your stuff, the night before, I told him, you know what would be great? If there was something or someone that would do this and this and this. And so then the day that I found Build Your Funnel, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I had just said, that it would be so great.
Amazing.
I don't think I had shared that with you.
No.
Yeah. And I like, you can ask Eddie, and it was exactly what I wanted. So I think that answers the question, and like a bunch of other deviates, but yeah, that was my journey to finding this. And I think that if I would not have been a part of this program, I would still be messing with those 25 to 30 emails that I had written and trying to figure it out.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. And I mean, like, I'm sitting here just so happy because part of the reason why I put the Voxer and email and the coaching there is that we are all, like, I am guilty of this. You are guilty of this. Everyone is guilty of this. We're so close to our stuff that we lose perspective. Totally. And so sometimes you just need somebody to come in and say, okay, if this is what you're trying to achieve, here's what I see needs to change. Mm-hmm. And I can't do it for my own stuff. I have coaches and people that I pay to help me with my own stuff, because we just get so caught up in what our story is. And we need somebody sometimes who's not expert in it to say, okay, what does this mean? What are you trying to get at here? Right?
Yes, that's exactly what I needed. I think I was like in my head for way too long. And when you like got in there and gave me your input, I was like, yeah, obviously, but why couldn't I see it? And that's it. You're too close.
Too close. Yeah. It's called the curse of knowledge. Like it really is a thing. And
yeah, it's so real.
Yeah. It's real.
Yeah. And I was like, I was pretty hard on myself too, because I had been like, before Instagram was a thing, before Facebook, any of that, I had been blogging on my lifestyle blog for a long time. Like I don't consider myself a writer, but I enjoy journaling, blogging. And so I had done that like for myself for fun for a long time. And I was like, and I've worked in professional settings before where you write emails all day. So I'm like, I got this, I can do this. I can put this together. But yeah, no, being too close is a real thing. The curse of knowledge, like how you said.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And I mean, you probably can appreciate this since you worked in a professional setting. When you are marketing somebody else's stuff, it's really different because you don't have your personal story all up in it, right?
Yes. And it's so much easier to look at, and I do this like with the people that I work with. I'm able to look at their strengths and focus only on that and help them be able to showcase that. But when it comes to your own thing, it's like I focus on like everything that I should not be focusing on.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I know it's kind of vulnerable to share that, but it's true because we all do it. And like I do, everybody does it, right? And so you just need somebody to step in. And so that was your number one thing, is to say, all right, she's going to help me through this. So, let people know Was I available? Did I walk through the stuff that I said that I would do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I think I like went through the program pretty quickly because I was like, okay, this needed to happen like yesterday. And I was, when I had to fill out my, like the workbook,
Yep.
I,
The Funnel Persuasion Playbook.
the playbook. Thank you. Yes, the playbook. A part of me was like, no, like I don't want to do more. I don't want to do more work because I felt like I had already written so much. And I was like, yeah, I get all of this. Like I'm ready to just like jump into it. And so, but then like when I sent it to you the first time, you like pushed back a little bit and we're like, you need to like dive into these things more. And I was like, okay, I need to focus on this part of it. And then when I did, more things started like clicking. So that's the first thing that came to mind right now when you mentioned like if you were available. I loved that you pushed back a little bit. Enough for me to know like, okay, I'm just trying to like wing this because I'm so frustrated.
Yeah.
So that when somebody can do that and and you're part of their program, that shows that they care. Well, one, that they're paying attention to what you're doing. It's not just like checking off the boxes. So I was like, okay, she is like really reading my stuff and she's really looking into what I'm doing. And I know that she knows, and I know that it could be better. So that was golden for me. Besides that, you were always available. Like I had never used Voxer before either. And so when I would like message you and you would respond right away, and even when you couldn't, it was not like you didn't like ghost me or anything ever. And so that was so incredibly helpful, seriously, because sometimes like my questions, I think they were not even questions. They were just like, hey, how long is this supposed to take? Like, it was just like needing to reach out for like reassurance, like confirmation that you're okay and you're on the right track.
Yep.
That was so valuable and very much needed. So yeah, guys, like Michelle was on it and totally not just available, but like I felt like in it with me. And like as a friend, as a coach, and as a very knowledgeable like business person. And that was just something that I did not expect to get. So that was amazing. Via email, Voxer, whatever it was, like you were on it. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. And I love that you mentioned that, because a lot of times it's not actually about the marketing stuff. It's about, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right things? Am I wasting time? Can I do, like, not just you, but I hear it from lots of people. And, if we're all honest, we all come up against that. Like we're working on something. It's like, is this the right direction? Help me just either, check my thoughts or just give me that little oomph, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the last for our like the main like call that we did towards the end, and where we actually like that's right, because actually before we did that call, I had sent you more emails that I wrote after going through your program. And that too, you were like, okay, how about think of these things, think of how you can make this a little bit better and things like that. And I was like, wait, what? Like I just rewrote everything to make it better. And now you're telling me to make it better after I made it better?
I know, I felt so bad, but I was holding the space for you because I could see what was possible.
Yeah. And now when I look at what you helped me come up with, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. Like, it was good. What I had was good, but it wasn't specific enough. And it's not that it wasn't good. It just, the what's it called? The approach needed to be different. And you like helped me get there. And so that last call that we did, and you literally were like, okay, email 1 is here's
the goal.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That was so amazing. Like start with the goal of what that email is, and so on. And I think my funnel right now is like less than 12 emails. My webinar funnel is less than 12 emails, as opposed to like the 25 to 30 that I was like creating and making up on my own. And they're so much better, so much more detailed. yeah, that was so amazing. Being able to go through literally one by one with you and know, okay, this is my goal. This is what I'm going to talk about. And I was able to do that. I don't think I had told you either. I was able to complete all of those emails in, I think in one day, in like one full day. I like worked on it in the morning, like went back to it, and it wasn't draining. It wasn't like, I wasn't upset at the end of the day. I was actually like, oh, this was a great day. I feel like I got so much stuff done and it wasn't just like busy work.
That's amazing. I remember when we were going through and because you were kind of frustrated with me,
Yeah.
or frustrated with the situation.
Yes, with everything. And thank you for your being patient.
Yeah, no, and it's fine. I mean, as a coach, like I have to be able to hold that space, right? And say, yeah, this needs to a little bit more work. But I told you, I said, but you're not alone. Like, let's go through and let's map this out so that you have a plan. And I remember when we got off the call and I said, how are you feeling now? And you're like, I can do this.
Yeah. Yes. And before I would literally like sit down, like when I had scheduled in my calendar, like on this, for these days, I'm going to work on the email before I found you. I'm going to work on my funnel. I would like cringe and like find things to do that I had to do so that I wouldn't do that, so that I could get away from it. Cause it was just like, oh my gosh, it was not enjoyable at all. And again, I was too close. I had tried it before on my own and was just like completely missing the mark. And I love the way that you have it set up, because in the program, you like explain how it works, what the point is. And then getting on the call with you to be able to see it in action, like for me, is money. It is like so, so powerful, seriously, because it's not just a course where you're like, here's a bunch of information. Okay, see you later. Yeah. No. It was like, okay, you have all the information, you've learned, you've gone through lessons, you've worked on your playbook. Now let's apply all of that to you. And that is like, I don't think that there's and I've taken a lot of programs online. I don't think that I haven't seen something like this, that I've seen something like this, where it's so specific to you for something that's so important and powerful in your business.
Yeah, because once you understand this and you have the roadmap, like you can you created a webinar funnel, but you could create any kind of funnel you want because you have the roadmap and you understand how this works now. So you can go off, and I mean, soon you might be like me and have 19.
I know. I was like, whoa, that's like #goals.
But once you understand how it works, it's a lot easier to do. It's just spending the time to get into the mind of your ideal client and really understand, what are they searching for? What is it that they've tried? Why would they want to buy this? And why would they want to buy it from me? So that you can set the stage right. Once you understand how that comes together, it's so much easier, I think, to really take control of your business.
Yeah, I agree.
And you were saying that now, when you take a look at your funnel or, your emails or your ads or any of that stuff, that you can see where things aren't working. That this might need a little tweak, or that might need a new email or whatever. How does it feel to be able to know, okay, now if I go do an ad, or if I do an Instagram live or whatever and send some people here, I can see exactly how this is going to work and I can start planning this.
Yes, it is amazing. And it's so empowering to know that I have something in place that not only am I proud of, but I know it's helpful. And I know exactly what it's doing for my business and the experience, the journey that it's taking my audience on. It is very empowering. And so before all of this, I'm teaching health and wellness entrepreneurs how to use Instagram for their business. And I wasn't using it for the Meraki Collective. On my lifestyle page, I was using it because it's more for fun. But for my business, I wasn't using it because I was like, how am I going to send people? How am I going to do Facebook lives and Instagram lives and do all these things, show up and then say, hey, sign up for this. And it's like all messy and all over the place. I was just like holding myself back. And so now when, like, as soon as I got that done and like we scheduled it, put it in place, I like started posting on Instagram like that very next week.
I
And I was
love
like,
it.
yeah, I was like, okay, like I am here. And I am confident that if you go to my website and sign up for my quiz or my newsletter, whatever, you know, works for you, I know that what is there works and it's dang good. And it's going to be helpful. Whether or not they buy, I don't even care. I just know that the experience is going to be good and they're going to get uh, emails in their newsletter that's going to not be noise. Ugh,
Right.
that's what I did not want, to just have more stuff. And so you really helped me be able to take every single email and make it valuable for them. So
I
it's
love
amazing.
it.
It's so amazing. And actually we're at the end of this month, we're getting ready to start running ads again and like doing, and like I'm gonna be doing Facebook lives and Instagram lives and like doing this whole thing. Yeah. And I'm really pumped about that. I'm so excited.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And it really, I mean, once you have this in place, it is so empowering because you
Yes.
know everything that you do accrues towards getting people, you
Mhm.
know, to at least be aware of who you are, right?
Yeah. Yes. And you know, I've gotten a lot of good feedback on some of the emails where I've put like examples, like my own personal examples in there that you like really encouraged me to do. And I was very like apprehensive towards that. I've gotten some good feedback on that where people like email back, they respond back to that email and will say like, this was so helpful. Thank you so much. Or after they watch my webinar, they are very, very grateful for finding me and for all of the information that I'm providing, I help that I'm providing. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so I would encourage you to go check out Marissa on Instagram because she's a total pro. And as I was looking through her emails, I was like, we need to highlight. I mean, some of your posts have off the charts engagement and like people are falling all over themselves loving you. I was like, we need to show how awesome you are. And I remember you're like, really? And I
I
said,
was like,
yes,
no.
yes.
I was like, that's for fun. I do Instagram. I just love Instagram. I love sharing stuff. I love creating content. I mean, I'm a photographer. My background is all visual. So Instagram is like my home.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and that's what people want to learn from is somebody who
Yeah.
loves it that much and has it in their bones.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, like, see, that sounds so obvious right now. But at the time I was like, no, like people don't want to see these examples in their email. Why? And it turns out that those are the ones that people are responding to more.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for sharing all this. So I have one last question.
Yeah.
You were talking to a friend who was in the situation you were, you know, before you joined Build Your Funnel Bootcamp. What would you tell them about the course?
I would tell them to immediately, like right this second, they need to stop thinking about it and just join, because they are not like, not tomorrow, not later, like right this second, do it, because it is literally going to change the way that you think about your business and think about funnels. It's not like this crazy, difficult, impossible, slimy, salesy thing. It's not that. And if they want to be able to do anything with their business that's evergreen or guide their audience through a wonderful experience, they need this program. And they need Michelle. I'm going to say you need to work with Michelle because I feel like I was explaining earlier, I'm pretty hard on myself when it comes to like, oh, why isn't this done? This needs to be better. And I don't know if that's like the creative part of me, that I want things done, like I want them done now and I want them to be beautiful and wonderful. And if like somebody like me was able, who had tried and written so many emails and done like hours and hours and hours and hours of research. And I thought, there is no hope for me to be able to get this right. If I can go through this program and you can help me understand, you were able to help me understand how this should work and how this could work, then for sure this will work for somebody else, anybody else.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. And again, if they want to check you out, we already dropped your Instagram handles, but where can they find you online?
So online, you can check me out at the MerakiCollective.com. That's where I will post stock photography, social media help, online presence, branding stuff for health and wellness entrepreneurs. And for my personal lifestyle content is MarissaRodriguez.com.
Nice. All right. And we'll link to all of that. Marissa, thank you so much for showing up today and sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michelle. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Isn't Marissa great? I so appreciate her coming on and sharing her marketing funnel journey with all of you, because this is a story that I have the privilege of seeing behind the scenes when I have students and clients that I work with. And I'm so thankful when people are brave enough to come and share it publicly, because it's not easy. And after we stopped recording, Marissa told me she shared with me the good news that she'd gotten her first sale from her new funnel after sharing just a few emails with her current email list. She hadn't even done any, advertising or outreach or anything. So we got to celebrate and have a little virtual high five session after the interview was over. If you work with clients and or students, you definitely understand this. When she told me about that win, I was so excited for her. I mean, don't you get excited for your students and clients as well? Listen, in marketing, oftentimes we'll hear about the big 6 and 7 figure launches, and I don't know about you, but I know the people that I work with and I talk with, and even myself, a lot of times we tend to discount anything that's not like huge and feels, newsworthy. But I'm here to tell you that getting your first sale is so much harder than getting your 1,000th sale. Seriously, creating something from scratch that attracts the right people, that engages them in your content and takes them on a journey that feels good and that excites your audience enough, to get them to buy, it can take a lot out of us. So I hope that you join me in celebrating Marissa and her win in creating a funnel that converted somebody into a sale. And although by the time this comes out, I'm sure she's going to have even more new students to celebrate, but I always want to celebrate that first one, right? Because it's like, yes, it worked. So I'm cheering Marissa on, and I'm cheering all my Build Your Funnel Bootcamp students and all my clients for their hard work and perseverance through this entrepreneurial journey. And I'm cheering you on too, because being an entrepreneur, having your own business, creating something from your mind, from your soul, from your heart, this is not an easy road to go on. So I hope that you know that I'm cheering you on, and there's a whole lot of people out here who are cheering you on, even if it feels like you're alone. And in fact, I'd love to hear from you. I really do. What ahas did you have while listening to Marissa's story? What part really resonated with you? What made you feel like, I'm not the only one who feels like this? I'd love it if you'd hit me up on social media or hit Marissa up. Let her know, how much you appreciate her sharing her story. You can email me, michelle@michelleLevans.com, or of course you can hit me up on, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And as you were listening to this, did you think of someone who could use this story, this inspiration, and these insights about creating a funnel and profit without worry in their business? If you know somebody who could use this, would you do both of us a big favor and share this episode with them? It's easy to do from whatever podcasting app you're listening on, or just send them an email with the URL for today's show, which is profitwithoutworry.com/episode-94. And your friend can listen right there on their computer, even if they don't listen to podcasts, because it's just like a blog post, right? And don't forget to download your freebie, the 5 Steps to Profit Without Worry. You can get that at today's show notes, or just head on over to profitwithoutworry.com/free so that you can see what it takes to create a movement with your marketing. All right. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you back here next week, same time, same place, on another great episode of Profit Without Worry. I'll see you then.